Nobody inside the Islamic Center thought that ordinary morning would turn into pure chaos within seconds. Children were running through the hallways. Families were talking peacefully, and outside it looked like just another normal day. Until armed men suddenly appeared near the entrance. The first gunshots echoed across the parking lot, and panic spread instantly. Adults froze. People started screaming. And somewhere inside that building were more than 140 children with almost no idea what was happening. But while everyone else was trying to survive, one security guard made a decision that would change everything. And the terrifying part, he knew there was a very real chance he wouldn't make it out alive. Most people would have run. Anyone would have thought about protecting themselves first. But Amin Abdullah moved in the opposite direction. A former military-trained guard, he immediately realized the attackers were trying to reach the main building, the exact area where the children's classrooms were located. Witnesses later described hearing kids crying, while teachers desperately locked doors, turned off lights, and pushed furniture against entrances. The problem was that nobody knew how long they had before the gunmen made it inside. That was the moment Amin did something that completely changed the outcome of the attack. Instead of hiding, he moved directly toward the main entrance to slow the attackers down. As gunfire continued outside, he shouted instructions for staff members to move the children deeper into protected rooms. Several witnesses later said he looked unbelievably calm, almost like he already understood exactly what needed to happen. But there was one horrifying detail. Amin was almost completely alone. Outside, the parking lot had turned into a war zone within seconds. Families dropped behind cars trying to avoid bullets. Parents became separated from their children, and terrified people ran in every direction, searching for cover. Inside the building, teachers were trying to keep children quiet while the sounds of screaming and gunfire echoed through the walls. And through all of it, Amin stayed at the front entrance, buying time 1 second at a time. Later, investigators would realize something deeply disturbing. If the attackers had entered the building even a few minutes earlier, the number of victims could have been catastrophic. Inside the classrooms, teachers began building makeshift barricades using tables and chairs. Some children were texting their parents goodbye messages because they genuinely believed they might not survive. Others sat silently crying in dark rooms while listening to the chaos outside. And during those terrifying moments, one sentence began spreading from room to room among the staff. "He's holding them back." Because everyone inside understood something chilling. There was only one thing standing between the attackers and those children. When law enforcement finally arrived, they found a scene filled with panic and destruction. But because of the precious minutes Amin managed to buy, dozens of children had already been moved into safer areas. Investigators later stated that his actions likely prevented the attackers from reaching the most vulnerable parts of the center. And only after the nightmare was over did many parents fully realize the truth. Their children were alive because one man chose to stand his ground for people he didn't even know. That day, Amin Abdullah wasn't looking for recognition. He wasn't trying to become famous. He simply refused to abandon innocent people when they needed protection the most. In a moment where fear controlled almost everyone else, he chose courage instead. And maybe that's what defines real American heroes. Ordinary people willing to risk everything so others can make it home alive.